Utilitarianism defines the least bad action as itself being good, which seems to be incorrect.
Wait, okay, walk me through why that's incorrect.
Trolley problem, flipping the switch to kill the one is the moral thing to do under utilitarianism. It is the good moral thing to do. Under mind, it is still wrong. You still killed a person.
Sure, so, do you think that a person should not flip the switch?
No, I think they should, but I think it's objectively immoral.
Wait, okay, so you think that we have reason so that we should, from a moral standpoint, do things that are immoral?
Yes, it's the most pragmatic solution, which is still immoral. So there can be times where you have options between two immoral actions, and you should do the least immoral action, but it's still immoral. It's not moral just because it's the best you can do.
Well,
The objectively moral thing isn't the best you can do, it's the best you could do with infinite power.
I mean, I guess that's a way that you could use the word moral, but I mean, I think that if you're using morals that way, then I think most utilitarians would agree with you that it would be best if, rather than having to flip the switch, that instead you could just make it so that the train just flew over all the people and didn't harm anyone, right? I don't see why utilitarians are wedded.
Again, so what that doesn't matter. The point is if you label something moral just because it's the pragmatically best thing to do, that's where utilitarianism is wrong. It is wrong to label something moral just because it's the pragmatically best thing to do. So
Why?
would
I
agree
mean,
with the overall conclusion, because that's literally a subjective criterion, so it's not an objective model. So an objective morality is based on not some just what you can do in your subjective limitation. It's based on what is an objective standard independent of your subjective limitation.
well, no, I mean, so an objective morality would concern how we should act. I don't see why objective morality
That's
can.
irrelevant.
No, I mean, why is
We
by
should
definition
act.
objective morality unable to concern the actions of individual subjects?
No, it does. So that's why it's irrelevant. Like, yes, my model does answer that. The difference between utilitarianism and my model isn't that, which is why it's irrelevant to the conversation. The difference between my model and utilitarianism is, should we label a pragmatic action as moral, or should we say it's immoral? So
Yeah,
both models
Sure,
do
what's
not
the
answer
argument
that
for why we
question.
should call it immoral?
You're killing someone. You're still doing something that's bad. That would be preferable to not do.
Okay, so because it does a bad thing, it's just automatically immoral. I mean, you can use the terms that way, but that seems to be a
those terms are
proprietary
synonymous,
definition unique to you.
No. We're using bad and immoral as synonymous in this context. So saying if you did something bad, then yes, it's immoral.
Well, it did a thing that's bad. It did more things that are good. So overall, it's good. Similarly to how, for example, if I am making a decision where one decision I would have one reason not to take the action, but I would have a stronger reason to take the action.
Yes,
I think you wouldn't call me irrational for taking the action.
No, both models agree on all of that, so none of that changes. The problem is that you admit you're doing a bad thing and a good thing, a more good thing. I'm saying that yes, you're doing a bad thing and a more good thing, so you should admit the bad thing is an immoral thing. So
Well,
if it was
the bad
moral,
thing-
perfectly objectively moral, that means there is no bad thing to it.
No, it just means that the good outweighs. Similarly to how if I take an action and I have a reason not to take the action, but a greater reason to take the action, you would say that I have a reason to overall take the action, even though I have
Yes,
a.
but you're still doing an immoral action. So you have a reason to do a bad thing. Congratulations, it's still a bad thing. So that's
Okay.
the difference, is that in my model, it admits that you're still doing a bad thing, whereas in utilitarianism, it doesn't admit that.
Do you think that any utilitarians think that it's good when people die as long as there are other things that outweigh?
Yes, that is actually one of the positions in utilitarianism.
Well, no, they would say that it would be better if everyone died, but
This isn't something you get an opinion on. This is literally one of the academic positions in utilitarianism, is that it's a good thing to kill any number of people to save a greater number of people. It's one of the biggest criticisms of many models of utilitarianism.
well,
Not
they
all models have
no,
engagement.
you're misunderstanding. Utilitarians would agree.
No. This is not something I'm misunderstanding. This is literally one of the academic models. It's not every academic model of utilitarianism. It is literally one of the models. So I'm not misunderstanding.
Wait, okay. What utilitarian philosopher has espoused this view?
Yes, they have. It's literally
Which
one
one?
of the major criticisms. Like, just Google Stanford Encyclopedia of Criticisms of Utilitarianism. It's the first fucking one.
So the one on the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy, that's that utilitarianism. That's a criticism of treating people as means to an end. So if you kill one person to save five,
I have no idea. Wait, I have no idea what you're saying. So
wait,
what you're talking about?
can you name any utilitarian who would espouse that view? That you're
Yes, just go. I don't actually research utilitarianism individually, and I don't need to, because it's one of the major criticisms of utilitarianism as a position, because it has been advocated for. So whether or not I know them by name is irrelevant. If it's one of the major criticisms on the Stanford Encyclopedia page, then yeah, that's one of the major problems of the worldview.
okay.
There's not, again, one of the kinds of utilitarianism, not all kinds. So if you want to take it up with the philosophers and say it's an inappropriate use of the page and that they should remove utilitarianism, you can take that up with the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy.
Well, no, I mean,
time.
where does the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy say that?
Criticisms of utilitarianism. Go. Have fun.
Well, okay, so.
Can I jump in?
Yeah, sure.